Okay, we're going to go over a little bit about the pumping of this truck. As I said, get your truck position at the incident, put it in neutral, set the parking brake. Here is the pump engage switch. Put that down, you get a green light. I'm just going to shut that off because we can't have the truck running right now. Our rig pumps in drive, and there's a little yellow sign right up here above the transmission that says pump in drive. So once you've got the pump engaged, you hit the D and it'll be in 4th gear. There should be a 4 in the indicator here. If it shows a 5, it means you are not in pump. So stop what you're doing, go back and start over. Pump engaged, hit drive, 4 needs to be on the transmission indicator. You'll get 2 green lights here, and let's go out to the pump panel. When you come out to the pump panel, if there's water in the pump, you'll get a positive reading on the gauge of about 50 psi. You'll also have a green light here indicating that you are in fact in pump. The first thing you want to do is hit this mode selector. There's 2 lights under here. There's PSI and RPM. Rockford Fire always pumps in PSI. What this does, is it sets your truck up for any supply. That you can take any supply on either side of the truck and it won't change the pressure out of the nozzles. It's kind of like the governor or the old relief valves, if you guys remember those. So there's the pump. It's pretty self-explanatory. We've got a crosslay here for our booster. Here's our working line. The only difference on this truck is to the working line we have 250 feet of 2.5-inch hose pre-connected. The reason we did that is because of the way the truck is set up and where it connects up in the hose bed. As you can see, we don't have a 5-inch connection hose on this side of the truck. There is one on the other side in a pan, a 25-foot section to hook to the hydrant. But that section on this side, if you need it, we've got a 25-foot section of 5-inch here and a 50-foot section here. So on the truck, we have a total of 1,000 feet of 5-inch. We have 900 feet in the bed, and then we've got this 50-foot, a 25-foot, and then another 25-foot on the other side. During your morning check, you want to make sure that there's water in the tank, in the booster tank, and make sure the foam is full. We do have indicator lights, but any good driver is going to do a visual check or put a hose in there. So we suggest you get the 6-foot step ladder. It's right in the back of the station to get up here. Unfortunately, our water tank is underneath the ladder here, so you can't do a visual inspection, but most drivers come in and just throw the garden hose on the other side of the station here up there until it runs over. And underneath the ladder, if you want to take a look at the other side, there's the foam tank. You can't check that either because it's under the coffin box. So we do visual checks of that on Monday when we raise the aerial. But there is indicator lights on the pump panel. So I want to go over the generator on the truck. It's an internal generator. You don't have to check oil or fuel. The button in here for the generator is on the top right, across from the master aerial and PTO. Generator PTO. They want you to engage the PTO at less than 1,000 RPMs. So when you start the truck up at night and you're going to a med call, there's no harm whatsoever in hitting that button before you leave the station. Now the generator's running, you can go to the call, and as you get close to the address, there's 3 lights over here for floodlights, and they are awesome. Right, left, and front, you can pop those on at any time. Doesn't matter what the RPM is when you turn the lights on, but they don't want you starting the generator if you're over 1,000 RPMs. There's also spotlights for the driver and officer on this truck. We don't use them very often. The driver's spotlight is right here. You turn it on, and this is the joystick to operate it. It's right above here. And just on the other side of the dash here is the officer's spotlight. But as you can see, it's about 3 feet away from his seat, so you have to reach over, and it's not very intuitive. We use the floodlights. They work great, and why not? We got them on the truck. So that's how you use the generator. And now we'll go over some of the compartments and the tools that we have on the rig.